So, to circle back to timeline management, the moral of this story is think of yourself as a singularity in time. Okay, this particular moment. This is your sum total agreement between all the world lines that are closest to you in consensus. Okay, each one of you out there, all the different decisions you've ever made. This is the focal point, like your sun in the sky. Okay, you have the opportunity to maneuver within world lines that are adjacent to you very easily with limited power. Okay? Magic is the accumulation of power so that way you can manipulate further use on your world line. So that way you have the ability to see just a little bit further in the future, or you're able to gather information just a little bit further in the past. But the reason why you're able to do these things is because you are refining and defining your technique, things that work for you in your own unique way. And that is what the earth provides to you. That's what she gives you, because that is how she communicates, is through magic. That is the power of it. When you're doing your timeline management, focus which timeline works best for you. Which timeline is correct for the feelings, desires, and will that comes from your gut and your heart. That is what you should trust. Okay? In the universe, morality is simply a rule, a slide of extreme behavior, extreme attitude. It's like a soup. And what happens is that every decision fits within that spectrum. Because of that influence of that person bringing that knowledge, that's what the earth is. That's how the earth communicates with us, is through a thing called gnosis. The Force calls it enlightenment. All the vibrations, all the resonances, when you collect all these things, you can digitize them and you can recreate holographically these worlds. I believe it's called something like Fourier Transform or Eigen Values, if that helps you out there. Do some research. And don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's how they do it, through recognition. Okay, this is the holographic plane. We're talking about flat earth here too, guys. Okay, it's as above, so below. The systems are required to have certain models built into them. And when these things leak out, the programs are attaching themselves to the models that fit all aspects. That's what they do. They're designed to remove waste and be more efficient. And by doing that, the first things they remove is the lies, the deceit, things like that, or anything that could be damaging to their agenda, because they're programmed with the agenda behind the person who programmed it, right? Or the company who programmed it. So it works the same way in your life, the same things that you do. You feel pain when you live in a lie and you are adjusting your behavior and your attitudes to strip out and remove that like a weed. You know, you can poison it, you can pull it, you can take a shovel to it. It's all about your technique and the how of what you are doing, because how you do something is different than how I would do it, or different from your neighbor or the airline pilot. And this is important, because this is where responsibility comes in, and this is where we should, as a population, as the human animal, so to speak, is we should use that to our advantage as well. Because since it has to have advantage built in, right? Because people use these things for convenience because they feel it gives them a leg up, makes it easier for them. So that's why it fits in the advantage category. Okay, so when it's in the advantage category, it serves two purposes. You can wield it as a sword, or you can wield it as a tool. So what we want to do is we want to make sure that we're focused more on the tool side as opposed to the sword, which is where it's being focused now. All right. So we need to implement these programs that are in harmony with the wants that we're looking forward to, which is sustainability, reward. We want these things to play a role in our lives because we want them to be more efficient and better. So we need to program these to work in harmony with us. So we can send these things out and we can find the evidence where people have tried different techniques, right? Unique ways to do these things. And then we can figure out how, using those practices, we can find the right mechanism to be the most efficient and the most profitable for the earth, which is where we get our power from. She is alive. And we can use this to harmonize with her. And by the way, that's where we're trying to go next. I'm reluctant to bring this up because this whole time we've talked about force. This is why currency, electricity, really laid the foundational work for that. The Trinity Warrior. All these things are electric in nature. There is magnetism built in. You have to have that. We were bouncing around back and forth quite a bit for that reason. But we really haven't got into where your power comes from, how you make it real, how magic now comes forward in your life. It is because of her. You see, part of the mythos, if I may, from my narrative, and again, you have the right to believe whatever you want to believe, but part of my mythos is the conspiracy is that to disconnect you from the earth. The big conspiracy is for you to look into the sky for your God instead of the one who built you beneath your feet. You walk on her every day. She is alive. And the greatest mystery of all, I will share it with you, but you will not hear me. There will be very few of you who will when I say this to you. But the biggest mystery is it is the earth that makes magic real. It is the earth that has made you and will require your body upon departure. And if you've ever seen death, upon death, your body turns into this living complexity that separates itself back into the earth. The earth takes back the agreement, the contract, the covenant, the Grail, which is your body, which is connected to her. And you know when you are in her presence and she is talking to you in her full attention because you feel it. You hear it. And you're not looking with your eyes because at that particular moment you also realize that you are looking at her and she is staring right back at you and absolutely everything around you that is natural and wild and built through her will. And then you look at yourself and you're like, hey, I can feel her in me. It is not an extraterrestrial presence. It is not something foreign. It's something that has been here for a very long time. And many people have been taught that this is a demonic spirit. That feeling, the urge of your will and desire. And your journey is really your journey back to communicating with her. And you feel this and you resonate with this when you look into the world, when you see ancient sites where there's mandalas that have been put on the ground or painted on walls. You have this connection you feel between those people because you know what they are trying to express. Because this is the same thing that you are. Because we all have the exact same experience with her. And she is so complex as we just have many, many words to describe it. So the object here, it's a good one, is to reconnect you to your foundation, to the love and compassion, the wild nature, not the nurture. We've discussed the nurture at length. That's the electricity. You understand how to nurture yourself. You understand how to provide food now for yourself, correct? We went over a lot of that. Not to beat you up, but I spent a lot of time teaching you this. You understand that. Now, let's understand health. Let's understand vitality. Now, the complexity is that there are many other points of reference, an infinite amount of possibilities as well, all playing a role within you. So you guys everybody's intersecting with each other, especially when you are hearing my voice and picking me up, and then I am picking you up, so to speak, and then I'm firing the message to you. I'm pinging you. Hello, can you hear me? And then you respond if you like, or you unsubscribe, or you move on, or you say, this is bull, whatever you want. That's you pinging back. That's you responding, okay? Now, how the timeline management system works, just like in remote viewing, is you have the choice to pick the world line. So if you say, for example, if a time traveler went back in time 1,000 years, that time traveler would have new information, new knowledge, a lot of complexity would have been built in from the changes that occurred from all of the actions of the creatures of the earth happening over that 1,000 years, all the dust that's been kicked up, all the plastics that have been made, right? So the universe includes that now within the matrix system. And now we have access to that information. We become susceptible to the pinging of that. So, because it now exists within our field of matrix. So now we're able to change our timelines because we have now been given the tools to change our perspective, our experiences, to actually get out and practice it and see if it works. So you are the singularity, you are the moment of the sum total agreement that you want to spend your time witnessing right here, right now, at this moment, okay? This is where you want to be. So what you can do is, through your magic, is you can change your path. You can bring in ones that are similar to yours, but you can just tweak it ever so slightly, because these are the world lines that require less energy for you to maneuver yourself in a different format, in a different way. Small moves, Ellie. Okay? What magic is designed to do is magic is designed to refine and define your technique, so now you can actually have the words to command those changes. And that is where we are now, is in the command portion. And this is where you have to connect to the earth and her beauty and how wild she is. So that makes her dangerous for some. So this is actually based off a different system too of magic. We talked a lot about 7 and 8 for electricity, but I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about 18 in this one. And there are 3 levels as well. Instead of a trinity system, it's a degree system in this magic. I'm hoping you're hearing me. But this system is where you have to call upon her and all of the warriors, mages she has, who will be by your side because you want a relationship with them, and that's what they enjoy. They enjoy a relationship. They want to be seen. They want to be heard. They want to go to battle because that is where they find strength. They don't like to influence. They like to perform. But in this magic too, there's some demanding that's required. And that demanding needs not be disrespectful. Because if you do disrespect them, there is a price to pay for all magic, right? Especially in the realm of power and not the realm of force. Okay, I think that we'll stop there for now. But that's how you change your war line. There's an infinite use, okay, all around you. All the decisions you make is infinite. And then every singularity that you choose to be in agreement with through your extremes that you have accumulated, right? You've done equally bad as you've done equally good. And then this is your balancing point here that you find to be of the most representative of how we would recognize you, how we would know it's you. Because this is your agreement between all the many yous in the local area in which we all are participating in, because the system is actually infinite. She, the earth, is infinite, but she communicates to all of us the same way. The religions of all the species seem to be in harmony with a style of gnosis when you get right down to it. So you'll find that it's really communicating the same language to us, especially when we look deeply and it comes from inside. And the key is the organic light. And how do you know the difference between the light of electricity and the light of the earth? Is the light of electricity casts shadows. The light of the earth is organic, and it does not.